This is For the Creators.
Hey, welcome back to For the Creators, where it's our job to tease out the tips and tricks from all kinds of creatives, whether they're musicians, presenters, actors, directors, DJs, writers, entrepreneurs, and everything in between. In this episode, we jump straight back into our conversation with Jay London. If you haven't listened to part 1, please go back, listen now, and then join me back here for part 2. But for those that, for whatever reason, don't want to do that, just a short recap. We covered how Jay started a podcast around 10 years ago, before it was cool. And we explore his journey into becoming a Capital Xtra radio host. That's enough of a recap. Make sure you go back and listen to part 1. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. And join us back here for part 2. Please enjoy part 2 of our sit down with Jay London.
At this point now, I've done a whole load more presenting. So through THRDS, through Virgin Media, even like I'd done like a couple of videos with them, like for their intranet and like online stuff.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. I was just any opportunity that I could get, bro.
Yeah, that's
any
amazing.
opportunity. So Virgin Media, they saw that I was doing some online stuff, and they approached me to present some videos for them, and I was like, of course, like this is amazing. I hosted like a marathon thing, which is where I first met like Marvin Humes, and he gave me a bit of advice backstage and was like, keep doing what you're doing, bro. Like,
that's crazy.
One day you'll get like, just keep doing, keep pushing.
No, that's crazy.
Now we work in the same, like when when I saw him, when I first got the job, I was like, bro, do you remember like Shaw, Run to the Beat, when I saw you? And he was like, yeah, I do remember. He was like, well done,
Imagine that, man.
It's crazy, bro.
Wow.
It's actually crazy. So I done that. I done most of it was through THRDS. So it's like we built our own platform to build, and then I built my presenting reputation through my own platform. It's a bit weird, but it's just getting experience where you can, because we're in that day and age. So, you know, I always say it to people, as I say when we're doing these talks, if it's at school, whatever, or people listening, if you want to do something, just you can create it yourself, because we're in that stage now where there's not really any excuse. Like, you can just go out and do it, and if you do it with enough ambition, persistence, determination, and quality, then eventually doors will open for you, because you're creating your own doors.
For sure.
So,
and that's how we first met.
Yeah.
I was introduced to you as a presenter on your own platform. So for me, it's funny enough, like I've always perceived you as, Jay's a presenter.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
which is how most people who probably know me now would be like, well, people think I'm a DJ, if we're being honest, because it's a bit weird. If you're on a radio station, a lot of people automatically assume that you're a Capital Xtra DJ,
right? And
you are actually spinning tunes, and the talking part is just like sub. Like, it's mainly about playing the music, when it's the other way around. Like, you're there because you can present the show and link those tunes together to make it an enjoyable experience for the person that's listening on the radio.
Yeah.
So now, like, I'm having the best time of my life there. Like, it's just, I can't appreciate it anymore. And I wouldn't change it for that very reason, because, you know, I know presenters that, without naming names, like, get a little bit like, oh, like, I'm tired of like music, or like sometimes they can seem a little bit like they're not bothered, like, even though they still love what they're doing. But, you know, everyone has hard days. Even if you do love your passion, you love your job, like, everyone's allowed to be like, oh, I don't feel like working today. But I don't think I've ever felt like that. I don't think I've ever felt like I don't want to go to work today. Yeah. Like, sometimes I'm tired. I'm like, how am I going to do this today? Right. Because I'm shattered.
Yeah.
But I've never felt like, oh, I've got to go radio again. Yeah. Like, nah.
It's never a chore.
It's never a chore. And I don't think I'd be like that if I didn't go through all of that shit.
Absolutely.
All those knockbacks and, like, you know, working out the value to be able to get that show in the first place and to be able to do it. So, yeah, so now I'm just trying to make sure it's the best that I can be and smash it in every way, and thank God, like, the ratings and the numbers are doing really, really well. Like, we're smashing it, like, it's building.
Smashing it.
Smashing Radio 1 Extra as well, if you're listening. More listeners than you. I think my show's got double the amount of listeners than Radio 1 and 1 Extra at the moment.
For real?
Yeah. So that was on one of the last radar cards, which is what they used to monitor.
How often do they come out? Is that monthly?
I think it's like every 3 or 4 months.
Oh, okay, wow, that's...
Yeah, so we're smashing them. But no, I'm just really grateful, man.
Yeah,
like,
for real.
which is something that I haven't said this whole time that I've been speaking. But I hope it hasn't come across like that I'm not, because, you know, I'm so thankful to be able to sit here now. And even though I don't feel like it's a big, like, stepping stone in, like a big pivotal point in my entire career, I still feel like I'm at the start of my journey, because there's so much that I want to do and know that I can do and that I want to achieve.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't be any more grateful for the show that I'm doing. Like, and sometimes people are like, "Oh, you're on quite late, like 10 till 2." And, you know, for me, I've never seen it that way. I've never seen it as, "Oh, I should be on earlier in the day." Like, I love my show. Like, I love the music that we play. It's a bit different to like earlier, because I get to play like newer tunes or more UK stuff. Like the homegrown feature that we do is like amazing. You can't really do that. You can't really take those chances on earlier on in the day as well.
You got a bit more freedom.
So I'm loving it. I'm loving what I'm doing. I love that they trust me to cover pretty much any other show. Like, if ever another presenter's off, whether that be Breakfast, whether that be, you know, any of the other presenters, I'm so grateful that I'm one of the first people that they come to.
That's
so
amazing.
They'll, like, at the end of the month, I'm covering Manny Norte again, because he's off to Dubai or whatever. I think he's just this guy's working all around the place. I don't know if he's on holiday or if he's DJing abroad or something like that, but they'll move me to his show and then get someone to cover my show, because, you know, they trust me, which I'm really thankful for. Yeah, and I just feel like all of this stuff, all of those ingredients come from every one of those moments that we spoke about,
sure.
all those knockbacks, applying for things like Kiss Chosen One. Like Kiss, they used to have these competitions where they do the Kiss Chosen One. People like AJ King came from there.
Is that where they went to, like, shopping malls?
Yeah. I applied for that, smashed it. Like, that's how I met Ricky and Melvin, and I know them.
Right.
And, you know, the guy, I forgot his name, but the guy that owns Kiss, he was like, they were really happy. Like, there was one time where I auditioned for it and they were like, "Oh, we really like you, but you're too affiliated with like Capital Xtra, so we can't put you any more forward." And I wasn't even working there.
No, that's when you was a producer.
I was doing like cover,
in between.
like I was producing. That was the time where I was doing producing, and then the odd cover show.
Right.
But there was stuff of me out socially now, because, you know, I'm using every opportunity to be like, yeah, I'm on Capital.
Of course, yeah.
So there's stuff on like Facebook. Because there was no Instagram. Actually, maybe there was Instagram now. But there's stuff on like Facebook and Instagram, and, you know, they know me a little bit to be like the overnight person on Capital. So it was like, oh, the Kiss Chosen One's about like that new raw kind of talent and discovering a new talent. So I didn't really fit that. I'm like, just give me a break. Like, what do I have to do? Yeah. What do I have to do? Like,
I'm doing everything. Stop
telling me that I'm all right at what I'm doing and not giving me what I'm doing. Like, tell me what I need to do then, because I'm ready to do it. Like, if I need to do this, then just tell me. I'll go away. I'll practice. I'll make sure that I smash it, and I'll come back and I'll make sure that it's exactly how you want the show to be. Like, I can deliver it. So, yeah. So all of those knockbacks, doing stuff like that, having to sign on, not being able to afford food, late nights, early mornings,
no sleep,
which is still going. Like now I'm on like 6 hours sleep in 48 hours.
3 hours a day.
Yeah, it's mate. That's not a normal thing though. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I try not to do that.
Sleep is important. People.
Yeah, very. Yeah. It's only because this week's been nuts. This weekend, it's been busy, but yeah, it's. I wouldn't change it, man, because it's made me what I am and who I am now.
For sure, but it also sounds like a lot of the opportunities have come off of your reputation in those years. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't that, oh yeah, we heard you, we saw you on this show, we saw you on TV, and, you know, like we thought, oh, you'd be great on this show. It was more of, who was really good?
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and he was top of mind. So when the opportunity did come up, you were top of mind. They put you in, and then because of what you'd done for you, like presenting on your own platform, you could then walk into the room and say,
be a lot more confident.
Look, you're a lot more confident. You're coming in as like a grown
ass man. Yeah,
do you know what I mean? So you're coming in more poised, and you've got
about 20, late 20, well, about 26, 27.
Yeah.
So Yeah, I don't like. It's completely different when like you're going in there, you're 27 and you're 20 or 21 or 22.
100%,
Like you
100%.
learned like so much in 5 years. The amount that I have learned and experienced that I've gained, like it's crazy. So
Exactly. And you come in with the product, which is then what spurred them to say, oh, yeah, well, we didn't really explore that, did we? And it's like, we didn't. And then they gave you the opportunity, but even at that point, you was like, yeah, this is good, but it needs to be clear. Otherwise, you have the, you know, because it's very easy to say yes to any opportunity when it kind of looks almost like what you wanted.
Especially when it's the dream, when it's what you want to do.
Exactly.
So,
but it's at that moment, like you said, where you really have to like pause and take stock and say, all right, how is this really going to work? Because you can quite easily walk into the wrong opportunity, which may set you back more years than it took you to get to that point.
For example, if I accepted that producer role with Kojo, I don't think I'd be presenting now, because I'd probably be a big producer in the station now. Yeah. And I just had to sit down and think about it. Like I said, that would be great for about a year and a half, but I'd want to be on that side of the mic. I wouldn't want to be on this side of the mic. So for me, it's starting something, and it wouldn't be fair to either of us, because I'd want your job. Like I'm producing you, but I'd want to be doing what you're doing. So it doesn't make sense. Like why would I come and do that? And then it'd just be a discredit to both of us, and it's just really fake, because it wouldn't be genuine at all. I'd be producing all the stuff thinking, I could deliver that. So I'd be giving you all my ideas that I want to do on the radio. So
right, exactly.
Like, it's such a competitive industry. Like it's mad. It's crazy. Like there's only 1, 2, 3. There's only 5 or 6 slots. How many of us on during the day? There's only 6 people on during the day. So there's only 6 people that can work there during the day in that massive company. Yeah. And then on the weekends you have specialist DJs, which is like another. So I don't know. I've never actually counted how many presenters are on the roster, but I think it's about 10 or 12. And you're 10 or 12 people out of hundreds of thousands that want to do that job. Yeah. So that's kind of what I have to remind people when they're like, your show's quite late. Like, bro, you don't understand. You don't understand. Like, it's fine. And what I do love about my show is I have a lot of listeners. So a lot of people I've always been a night person anyway. So at 10 o'clock, there's no way I'm sleeping anyway. Yeah. So, you know, if you want to listen and you want to put your radio on, I'm not doing the late show, which I probably would struggle with. But yeah, eventually it'd be nice to have an earlier slot. Of course, like I think everyone wants to be as heard as they can, as much as they can. But again, I'm not trying to push someone out, or I'm not trying to take someone else's like slot or anything like that. I'm really happy with what I've been given at the moment. And Sundays I do 9 a.m. till 1. I do breakfast show on Sundays. Yeah. So like it's kind of best of both worlds. So.
Definitely.
It's all good, man.
Wow, so that brings us up to today, man. That's an incredible
Brings us up
journey.
to today. Brings us up to the show this morning.
Yeah, for real. Literally this morning.
I managed to plough through on my lack of sleep last night. I always get up earlier when I've been out the night before.
Me too.
I get panicky. So I was super early to work today. I was there at like 8:20. Show's at 9.
Yeah. Better to be early than late, though.
Yeah, 100%. But I know, like, if I'm late, especially just taking everything that we've just spoken about into consideration, I can't be late. Like look how this is really important. I cannot be late to this job. Exactly. So if I'm late to this job because I was out last night drinking, I'm not going to forgive myself for that. No. So, you know, I'm there at 8:20 today. Last night I DJ'd at a friend's birthday. Within the last year, I taught myself a friend of mine who DJs taught me how to use a controller, because I was getting asked a lot to DJ, because as I say, a lot of people assume that...
Oh, the association, of course.
So now I DJ on the side. I still don't see it as like bread and butter or like a priority. Like I do love to do it when it's a hobby. So if it's playing at clubs or playing music that I enjoy, then I love it. But if it's being asked to play tracks that I don't actually already have, right, then it becomes a job. Yeah. So I don't enjoy it as much then. So I don't advertise it as a DJ. Because for me, I'm still the person that doesn't want to DJ at Ibiza in the club. I want to own the club in Ibiza. I don't like that's short term.
Yeah.
I'm thinking bigger than that. So, although it would be great. Anyone who is listening, if you have an opportunity for me to DJ in Ibiza, hit me up.
Yeah, while you scout out
J London online, J London official.
Yeah,
I've got some good mixes on there.
Yeah,
and
I
can DJ pretty well now. So
Jay will be in Ibiza just scouting out the different plots for the newest club.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, as I say, every opportunity is a great one, and I just feel like a lot of the time I might play stuff down because I don't believe in, like selling yourself as this polished person in everything that you do if you know that you're not really there yet. So I'd say like my strength is being a director of a business and being a presenter. So those are my strengths. In no particular order, probably. You know, they go hand in hand.
Yeah.
And then the next thing that I'm passionate about is DJing, because I think I'm just becoming more and more passionate about music every day. Like, I just love it. So, like, DJing is probably the next thing alongside style and fashion, which I'm interested in. But again, I'm not really interested in catwalks and stuff like that. I just like clothes and trainers, and everyone likes to look cool. So yeah, but I think because I know that there are better DJs than me, which is going to sound really like crazy to people listening. What? He's saying that there's better DJs than him, but I'm honest. Do you know what I mean? There are better DJs than me, but they're a lot more expensive than I am. But of course there are better DJs out there than me, because that is not my
forte.
Like, it's my forte, but it's not my first.
Oh, right.
It's not my first forte.
Yeah.
So, I'm not going to sit here and say there's a lot of better presenters than me, because that's what I'm confident on.
Right.
Like, if you ask me to present something now along someone else, like, I will make sure that I do an equally good job, or I will make sure that I smash it, because I believe that I can do better.
Yeah.
So, it's just knowing where your strengths are and not trying to be like a jack of all trades when, so that's like, even along the journey, people are like, oh, you should do acting. I'm like, okay, maybe one day, but like, I'm not trying to be like this big actor. That's a whole. Sometimes people just look at a field and just feel like you can just walk into it.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Just like, like, okay, cool, yeah, like, oh yeah, like, you're an actor now. Like, no, there's a lot that goes into that. There's scripts, like, there's rehearsal, like, there's so much stuff that goes into that.
They're all different crafts. And
yeah.
A lot of discipline.
Presenting is a lot like acting as well sometimes, because sometimes you might have to present something that you don't actually really like, or I was told quite recently a really good point where, like, if you're looking at your craft and you're looking at your dream, you need to imagine it and picture it doing the things that you don't like in it. For example, DJing. If you're DJing at an event that you don't particularly like, if you're asked to do like a heavy metal DJ event, you're still a DJ, so you should really be able to accept that and do that.
Yeah.
But if you're not willing to do that, then should that really be your job? Like, if you want to play computer games for a living, one of my friends said, he's trying to start up. He wants an extra income, so he wants to start up reviewing computer games. And I'm like, that's cool, but don't think that you're just going to get paid to play Warcraft all day because that's what you love to play. Don't think they're going to just pay you to play Destiny and FIFA. Like, you're going to have to play Barbie's World at some point for a week. And you're going to have to clock that game about 10 times for a week, because that is now your job. Yeah. So I always say everything is fun as a hobby until it becomes work. Once it becomes work, then it becomes a job.
Well, it's also even just outside of the, like, for example, with that game playing, there's all the like advertising, like the actual business side of it to make it a job. Like, there's so much stuff around it, the actual thing that is actually work.
And that's why a lot of people think that, I don't know, presenting is probably easy, but there's a lot that goes into it. Like, there's a reason why we're on that side of the mic, because it's very strategic with how we present the show, with how we deliver content. For example, I don't know, give you, like, it could be like Kim Kardashian. Okay, she's just had a baby, so that could be some information that we want to get across on the radio station. So I could put the mic up and be like, oh, you never guess what, Kim Kardashian, she's had a baby. You can check it out on capitalxtra.com. Right. To someone who's not a presenter, that might be a good link, but for someone who is a presenter, I know that's not a good link. The way that I would deliver that would be like, I knew it. You'd never guess what. Like, you've seen it, right? You know it's mine. Kim's had a baby. Do you know what I mean? And you're laughing because that is my job.
Got it.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah? So that is what separates a presenter from like just being, oh yeah, I want to present because I like to talk. No, there's an art to it. And that's just one element. There's knowing when to shut up. There's knowing, you know, it's like breathing and tones and like your level with your voice, because I could do that same link and be like, you never guess what, Kim Kardashian, I knew it. She's pregnant. She's had a baby. It's mine. Or I could be like, you never guess what?
Right.
My tone is different.
Yeah.
Kim Kardashian's had a baby. I've brought it back down.
That's very interesting.
So there's a lot that goes into it, and people don't, I don't know.
How did you pick that up?
Experience and doing it. When I first started it, I might have been doing it a little bit, but I wasn't aware of it. So a good show would be if I've got a lot of energy, and if I'm like not hungry or if I'm not thirsty and I've had enough sleep, and like I can deliver a link like that, which is 9 times out of 10. But if I'm tired, then I need to be very conscious that I might sound quite monotone, or I might have the same level. Like I've been basically like we've been talking today.
Yeah.
I might sound like this, which is not how I would want to deliver the show. I'd want to get your attention.
You need that energy up.
Yeah, you put up the mic. You're on Instagram, right? You're listening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay, cool. You must have seen this. 50 Cent has just posted da-da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
Or I could say, do you follow 50 Cent on Instagram? He's just posted this. Check it out at 50 Cent or blah, 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 blah.
Right.
So there's loads of different ways to deliver the same content, and that's what makes each presenter different from the next one. And that's why we get paid to do what we're doing, because, you know, it's also driving the desk and knowing technicalities behind it. Literally everything that comes out the radio speaker is driven by us. So when the adverts get played, the music that gets played underneath us when we're speaking, sometimes we speak like, you need to know, you know, if you want to speak outside of a tune, like off the back of a song or into a song. So you could like speak at the end of a tune, or you could like, you know, like basically like Chris Brown AO. Chris Brown and Tiger AO. That like the intro to that is quite like, it's about 20 seconds. It's got that ding 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 ding, like this, it builds up before it drops. So that's quite a good tune to speak into.
So it's about knowing your tunes as well.
It's about knowing your tunes as well. So there's a lot, and obviously having a big passion for music. So there's quite a bit that goes into it. So again, like that might be a thing where like someone doing acting, one of their friends might be to them, oh, do you know what, you should do presenting. So
Exactly.
So but I'm very aware that if I want to be an actor, I need to study that, and I need to, not so much meaning I need to go and read a book about acting, but I need to gain a lot of experience and trial that, and then before I'm ready to say, you know, and at the moment that's not something that I have the time to do. So I'm quite happy to juggle the presenting, the DJing and running the business, and hosting that I'm doing at the moment. So basically I'm doing like, I'm running the business, working on Capital Xtra. DJ is kind of like another job if and when things come, and then running my own brand, because something that I've never mentioned is up until this point and to this day, throughout that whole journey, I've never had a manager. I've never had a PR. I've never had a publicist. I've never had anyone helping me with any of this stuff. Like it's just been me. All the people around me that I've shouted out that have helped me to create a little website here, or, you know, do things like that. So yeah, I'm at a point now where I'm kind of looking for PR openly now, because I believe I'm at a stage now where I've got as far as I can get, trying to just do it in this little bubble that I have, when I could bring on someone now who has got a much wider bubble. And I just want people to know what's going on. Like, it's never been about the fame for me. It's always been about the success and being credible for doing what you are doing. But I don't think enough people can credit you if they don't know what you're doing. So that's what it is. It's getting the stuff out there. So if you don't like it, then cool, like just move on. But I at least just want you to know I'm doing it, not because I want you to lick my ass or to feel like I'm this celebrity. I just want you to know that, you know, there's like, I want my hard work to be acknowledged a bit more now. Whereas before I was just like, nah, just do it. Like, just do it. Just get on with it. It doesn't matter. But then social media now just plays such a massive impact, because if you've only got a little amount of following, or you've only got a certain amount of likes, people think that you're not as successful as the next person, because that now defines everything. Instagram's like, okay, cool, he can't be famous, he's not got 10k followers and he hasn't got a blue tick, so they don't care that I run a business, work on a radio station, or DJ, or
all of that,
whatever it is. So it's mad, but as I say, that's another podcast, I think.
Yeah. But if there's any upcoming or established PRs listening now that want to jump,
listen,
and help.
I don't know when this is coming out, but try and get in there. So hit me up, J London. Which email address? j.london@capitalxtra.com.
Hit him up.
Hit me up there.
Subject PR.
Subject.
I want to be your PR.
Subject. I want to be your PR. I've tried because for me, I'm not trying to. I don't want to be a part of a big PR agency. Because I know that I'm a number. There's no point me being on the same PR agency as like Ricky and Melvin, Marvin Humes, and all of these amazing other presenters, Reggie Yates, that are doing it, because naturally you're going to push them before you push them. They've already got a name for themselves. Of
course.
They're more likeable and they're more...
It's about building up with somebody.
So I've explored trying to do it with just like one person. I brought on a girl like at the end of last year, to like help me do, not so much... Her title was like PR and something else, but all I was kind of getting her to do was just like help me to like create, to like tweet and like manage like tweets and
social media
and get stuff out a little bit more when I couldn't do it. And I ended up just doing it anyway, so that never lasted.
Right.
So now I want something that's a lot more personal, a lot more intimate. So it's like, if it is an agency, they only look after about like 5 people. And, if any match the same criteria that I do as like a entertainment and fashion and music presenter that works on a radio station and wants to get into TV and blah, 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 and DJs, if you've got another 3 of them, then there's no point.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm looking for that at the moment. I've sent a couple emails, but I think this week from tomorrow, I'm going to be on a search for that.
Cool.
And yeah, man, just trying to just continue doing what I'm doing. Like, nothing's really changed from that Jonathan Ross moment for me. Like, nothing's...
Exactly, just been full steam ahead.
Yeah, nothing's... I think I did become a bit more... I became a bit content when I got the slot at Capital Xtra. Again, not even consciously. I didn't even sit down. I think it wasn't even a bad thing. I just wanted to make that show the best I could make it. So all my energy went into that, and I stopped doing the things outside of the radio station that got me to the radio station.
Got it. Because
I wanted to make sure that was the best it could be. And now I feel like it's at a good place where I'm not nervous, or like I can manage that show now without being like, I know what sounds good and what doesn't sound good. I know what the bosses want to hear. Like, I'm a lot more calm now as to when I first started, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. I can now continue to build on the things that are outside of that brand, because at the end of the day, I still work for someone. So if they want to sack me at the end of my contract, they can do that openly. So, like that's something that we always need to remind ourselves as well. The way that the industry chops and changes, is very quick. Same way that I came in, and they had a restructure. I don't know when that next restructure is around the corner, and they say, "Jay, do you know what? Like, it's been a good one. See you later."
Exactly.
This is the new Jay. This is young Jay now. Yeah. So I need to make sure that young Jay ain't touching me. They like young Jay's not close to me. Yeah. Like, I'm always doing more, always excelling, always.
Which is why
building.
you do have to invest in your own brand and constantly
exactly.
evolving.
So there's a few things this year that I'm working on that I want to do. I want to do a fashion series with a brand that I'm in talks with at the moment. So hopefully that gets finalised tomorrow, and then once that is, then you'll listen back to this and be like, "Oh, that was that."
Yeah.
If it's not with them, then hopefully it'll be with someone else. But I really want to do that. That and secure the PR is 2 of the things that I really want to do. Documentary is something that I'm really passionate about, which I've not mentioned. I've done a couple of those. My debut doc, The Man Behind K Coke, it's on like 260,000 views now, and that was like independent, edited by me, just filmed by favours from the THRDS team. Yeah. Me and Andre kind of just going out and doing stuff. Then I released another documentary after that, which has done quite all right, breaking the cycle. But I want to do more of those as well. Like it's mad. It's just like I put something out again socially on my Instagram at JLondon. That's JAY London. LONDON. I put something out the other day saying like, have you ever? I think you like the picture. Have you ever felt like you want to do so much where you feel like you're not doing much at all because you're trying to do so much? And I'm constantly feeling like that and I don't think it's a bad thing to have because I think it really helps to drive.
Yeah, no, that really resonated with me because I'm the same. I've always done one thing, but that one thing is going towards a vision.
Yeah,
and I do multiple things within that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it is spinning a lot of plates, but I can't do it any other way because
100%.
That's just.
But then it's like you're spinning those plates, and it's like, but there's these plates here which are still within the same cutlery collection, that you want to spin too. So you're not even trying to take the actors' plates. You're not trying to take. No, exactly. You're not even trying to take the DJ plates when you're even. Like, I'm a DJ, but I'm still not even trying to take the DJ plate. I still want to just have. There's still all these other plates here though that fall under what I do that I can eat off. That I can eat off. That that it's compatible with my microwave and I can use the same cutlery and it holds all my food. So I want to use those plates too because they say presenter on them. They say all the things that I do on them. But I'm still doing all of this stuff that I'm still struggling to manage because I'm trying to do all of that.
Exactly.
So that's why I need a PR because it's just helping me to focus on because it's like producing the content and it's getting the stuff out.
Exactly. It's another job.
Yeah, you're your own manager, you're the talent, you're the PR, you're the publicist, you're literally everything. So I think that will help me a lot this year and it will free up a lot of energy and space for me to continue trying to just do the work.
For sure. Well, I'm sure there's going to be someone who's the perfect fit listening. So
you reckon?
Yeah,
hopefully.
I reckon so.
Hopefully, I'll owe you a drink if it happens.
Or if someone will know someone, and they will hit you up.
That's usually how it happens.
Exactly.
But I've always been a person to never ask. So like, if we did this podcast a month ago, I wouldn't have said that. I wouldn't have said that because I always keep things so close. Like I feel like it's embarrassing to be like
to ask for help.
Yeah, to ask for help. But now I'm like, no, it's not because I'm surrounded by all these people that are like. I had a chat with Marvin. I was like, do you know any PRs? Because you've done this, like before you were superstar Marvin Humes presenter. Now I'm talking post JLS, like getting into presenting.
He had to do that transition. Yeah.
What was like? Who did you have a PR? And immediately he was like, yeah, sure, I'll email someone for you. And then he put me in contact with someone. So it's like you don't ask, you don't get. Same with like Ricky and Melv. Shit, I was supposed to remind Melvin to call someone today.
You better do that.
Yeah. Same with them. Like they're two of the most genuine people, and they're like, yeah, cool, bro. Like we had me and Ricky had a long chat just about how like the industry and like getting into PR and why it's important and blah 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 blah. So like they've always been two people that believed in me, and they probably don't even know that I appreciate them because those were two people that I looked up to coming up as a presenter. That I could identify myself in, and they showed me love. Like they actively said to me, "Do you know what? Like you were really good," and I think that played a really important part.
Confidence
in my confidence to be like, you know what? Yeah, I am really good. I can do this.
Yeah.
So when you're hearing it from two people that you identify yourself in, then yeah, it's amazing. So they probably don't even know that. I'll tell them next time I see him because I think I'm becoming a lot more just. I think when you're at a certain stage and a certain age, you want to be that cool person that's just not like, oh, do you know what? I really respect you. But when you get to a certain place, you're like, I'm more happy to tell people that now rather than try and keep it to myself. So going back to my point, it's like I wouldn't ask these people for help. I wouldn't put it out there because I believe like I would always believe that I need to do it myself or I need to, it's embarrassing. So I'm happy I'm over that now. But yeah, if we'd done this a month ago, I wouldn't have mentioned the PR thing.
Yeah.
I saw Wiley last Friday. He's my favourite grime MC of all time. And I said, Wiley, you are my favourite grime MC of all time.
Yeah.
he's like, and he recognised me because I done a pen game challenge that went
right.
viral. You know, Marks is the pen game challenge.
Yeah. Of course. That's what it is.
So I done that pen game challenge and it went viral. So now, like, I'm in Manny Norte had a party. And I'm in this party, and there's so many people that recognise me from they don't even know I'm on they don't even know my actual job. They recognise me from the pen game challenge. So I've seen Wiley, and I'm like, man, like NBE, and he's like, man, like pen game, and I'm like, okay, no, do you know what? Cool.
I'll take it.
Like, whatever, man. Like, so yeah, I'm just becoming a lot more just open and just able to just have real conversations with people and just tell them like, yo, like, I'm a fan and you've played an impact in what I'm doing and thank you. Like, do you know, like, thanks, because it's played an important part, and I don't think I'd be doing what I was doing if you like. Andre's a big person. Andre's been there for me. Like, he probably believed that I would be a presenter before I believed I'd be a presenter.
Yeah.
From the very beginning. So I owe him a lot of thanks, because if we hadn't started that show and we didn't start doing that, and he pushes me probably like a manager. He pushes me where he can, and it's like, oh, Jay, like, you need to speak to this person. Like, I'll have a meeting. I've organised this meeting with you to go and speak to her. Yeah, go and speak to her because she would be sick. Like, she can manage you, and I'd be like, yeah, I don't know, but I don't know if I want manager. But I'd go because he's done it.
There you go.
So, like, things like that. But yeah, so I think one of the most important things to kind of take from that is just making sure you surround yourself with good people that have the best intentions for you and want the same thing. Because
so important.
If you've got people sucking blood out of you, then it ain't gonna work. And it's hard enough to believe in yourself without someone doubting you. So yeah, I guess that's one of them lessons to learn from that.
For sure, but it seems like you've come to that realization, like, even more so.
It's weird because when I sit down and I do things like this, I don't realize that I realize it.
It's like reflection, isn't it?
Yeah, it's weird because it's like all of these, like, these are things that like people read books for, like Rich Dad Poor Dad, or The Secret and things like that. And I've never had to, even though I'm reading Rich Dad Poor Dad now, I've just started because it was highly recommended to me by someone. But like things like The Secret, people are always like, oh, do you believe in The Secret? Or you need to read it because it's so, like, the law of attraction, the law of this and da-da-da-da-da. Cool. Like, I believe in that whole law of attraction thing, but I don't even call it law of attraction. I just call it life.
Yeah.
It's just, that is just how you need to be. Like, you can't expect something to come to you if you do not believe it, you don't attract it, you don't go out for it. Like, that's just, you'd be stupid to believe that is how it works, that it will just come to you. But you know, it's probably ignorant for me to say that it's stupid to believe that, because a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people believe that. So I don't know how I learned it. I don't know how I learned what was in The Secret without reading The Secret, which sounds stupid.
It sounds like, from your journey, it sounds like it was something innate, because you always knew what you wanted to go for, and then you went for it, but you knew that it would take a long time. Yeah. And you knew that the action was the most important thing. Obviously, like, keeping the vision, like, in your mind's eye, but not stopping action. You're not just like, oh yeah, I want to be a presenter, let me sit down and watch Jonathan Ross every week, and that's it. It weren't that. You've done all the actions and put in all the hard work, and that's how the law of attraction kind of manifests itself into real life.
There was a lot of times where I wanted to give up. I had meetings. There was a hard time when I had a meeting with Red 24 management, and I really believe that was like the time for me to get management. Like, I was probably at the best place in my career at that time. I wasn't doing radio, but I was doing everything, like, other than that. And I was at a really good place. I was doing campaigns. I was, like, being featured. My face was being seen. I was doing all these amazing things. And I was at a point where I was like, yeah, like, now's the time for me to get management. And they was really, really interested, and they was really like, yeah, they're really keen, and they really like, they proper sounded like they was on it, like proper, and I think they were. And what hurt was I had people around me that were like, after I told them, like, the meeting that we had, how positive it was and how successful it was, and the fact that they kind of like headhunted me and they came to me and said they wanted to it looked like it was a done deal. And I had people around me like you're definitely, that's yours, like, it's yours, like, I can't wait, like, and they didn't. They said no. and that really like that stabbed me. That hurt. That one hurt. That one really, really hurt because I believed that I was going to get it, and I didn't get it. And there was a little while where I think I was quite disheartened. Like I wasn't doing stuff for a little while.
Yeah.
I think I kind of it took me back. I was just like, loudest for a bit. But then, yeah, man, I just get back up. It's just part of the journey.
That's what happens after that. Moments like that do hurt, but
yeah, allow it and do what? Go and work back in the office. That's not what I want to do with my life. So either just get on with it, shut up, and just do it, or just go and get a 9 to 5 that you might still enjoy, but you can't do the whole creative thing. So there's nothing wrong with that. I started working in the supermarket, and I realised from an early age that what work was and how you had to work, and having a manager and taking instructions and it wasn't for me. At the time, it wasn't that bad because I was young and I was just getting some money, like working in Sainsbury's. That's cool.
Yeah. What Sainsbury's was it?
East Ham.
Is it? I went to the Ilford one.
It's not even there anymore. The East Ham one.
Oh, the East Ham one. Is it? I think it might be.
I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, Sainsbury's was mad. Did they have you walking around like the whole shop?
No, I was on the counters.
I was everywhere.
Oh, was it?
So they had me stacking shelves, warehouse, like frozen, fridge, cleaning, checkout, everything.
Yeah.
I was like free roll, just doing everything. So I've always worked and I've always had those jobs, and it's I guess looking back at it now, it's quite nice. It's quite a nice time to look back at it because I feel like I've done a few things now to look back at.
Yeah. And all of those experiences really, really do help where you are.
Yeah, 100%.
Incredible.
100%. And I don't think anyone could have. You can't write that stuff, and you can't predict it, and you can't try and make that stuff happen. Like you've just got to go for it. And that's, as I say, when I'm speaking to kids in assemblies, I'm just telling them, just start your own stuff. Like don't. There was a girl yesterday at the talk that we did in Ministry of Sound that asked like how to get on the radio, which is like one of the most common questions, like what do I put in my demo and stuff like that. And I said to her, don't do a demo, like devil's advocate. Everyone was like, what do you mean don't do a demo? Don't send demos. Like we're not in that age anymore. If you create a brand and you're doing what you want to do, and you're actually gravitating things towards you because of how good you are at being you, then people will come to you. Like, and then if they don't, then try and go to them, because then you've got something to show them.
Exactly.
But don't. The way that radio kind of works now is how I'm assuming how music works, how presenting or acting or whatever, how everything works is by creating your own brand. People don't go, oh, do you know what? I need a producer. Let me scour the internet and find a big producer.
Exactly.
They're gonna go, I need a producer. Shit, who's killing it now? Steel Bangles, J5, Ulterior. Like, who can I get to produce my track for me? You're gonna know because you've seen them around. Yeah, you've heard them on the radio. You've done so because these people have built a reputation for themselves. They're not just sending a demo and being like things. So if you're presenting on like a community radio station or your local radio station or your uni, or you're on you're on like Represent, which is a very respected lower station, and you've got your own brand and you've built up a following, and you've got these examples and you've got other elements to you as well, like you're interested in maybe fashion or like sport or food or travel or something like that, then people are going to be like, oh, this person's quite cool actually. Have you seen there? And then they're going to go through your Instagram because that is now your CV. Sadly enough. So that's always the advice that I give to people. And yeah, I feel like, I can't remember why I made that point in the first place, but I think, yeah, it all just plays a part of your journey. And if you don't do it, then you can't expect to get. But what I would actually like to know from myself is how I learned it, because I think it's quite difficult to stay that strong-minded, to get knocked back and have that resilience, and believe to continue and not be bitter towards people and not believe that they owe you something.
Yeah.
Not so much the giving up, it's the resentfulness, and not be jealous of that person and just stay focused. Like, don't worry, your time will come. How did I'd like to know how I learned. This is me going back into presenter mode. I'm interviewing myself. How did I learn those traits? And I can't answer that. I really can't. But
maybe it was a combination of like loads of different things that
maybe
you understood what the journey was.
Maybe
to make it into.
But I think it's just that initial
big.
beginning. Like, how do you understand that, Jay? If you're going to start this journey, it's going to be about 4 or 5 years, and like you're going to have to stick at it, and it will come. Like
something within you.
Yeah, it's actually a bit weird. I don't even know.
Well, glad you did.
For me, it's just thanks, man. And I think for me, it's like because I realised it at a relatively young age. I was about 18, 19. I knew I had the time to chase it.
Yeah.
Like if I decided now that I wanted to be a presenter, I'd probably give it about 2 years and then give up. It's obviously time. And time has always been a thing that is like my worst enemy. Like there's just not enough of it. Like I eat and do emails and like I'm walking around and posting or, I'm trying to do two things. I'm getting changed and I'm on a phone call. Like I don't ever have any time to just sit down and just take a breather, which I'm now getting a lot better at.
Good.
Like, within the last 12 months.
Good.
I've got a lot better at, and I switch off. Well, I tried to switch off on Fridays and Saturdays.
Yeah.
Which is tricky when you're running a business.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, really, really. Yeah.
Definitely tricky.
But I'm trying to do that, and I think that again, that's important.
Yeah.
But again, these are things that you learn along the way, and
that's it, man. It's self-awareness.
Yeah, and
you know how you function best. That's it. Just going to bring me on to my next question, actually, which is with your self-awareness and knowing how you work when in your different like disciplines. So you're running the business and you're presenting, and you're on the radio. Are you always in the same frame of mind, or is it like you're putting on different heads? Like, do you have any like rituals to get into those different settings?
Definitely different heads. For running a business, it's professional. Not that being a presenter and doing radio isn't professional, but running a business, I'm managing people. So it's more so. That's the best way to describe it. Running a business, I'm managing people, but on radio, I'm still learning. So I'm still analysing how I'm listening back to myself and trying to learn how I can do better things, which I'm doing by running the business. But there needs to be a level of I know what I'm talking about with the business, and we need to do it this sort of way in order for it to work. Whereas at radio, I work for them, so. How do you want your radio station to sound? Okay, cool. You want it to sound this way. I'm gonna do it that way for you, and I'm gonna make sure that it sounds the best that it can sound by doing what you've told me to do, because you've been doing this longer than I have, and you know what sounds best.
Yeah.
So obviously it helps a lot that I come from the whole producing background, and they get a lot of joy out of that, I guess, and know that I can manage myself in that studio, and I know how it should sound. Like I know how a link should be structured and sound, and I know when it's too long and too short, which I've got a lot better at by taking a lot of tips and learning from them. So from them, like from that side, there's that going on. But from running a business, there's no time for that, because if you're not doing what I'm asking you to do and you're not working with the rest of the team, then we're going to lose money, and then there's going to be a deficit, and then we're going to become bankrupt, and then we're not going to be able to pay our rent, and then I'm going to have bailiffs coming and knocking at my door. So it's not the same. Like there's a lot more pressure on the business side of it for it to work. So definitely different heads, 100%. That's probably why I enjoy radio so much, because I go there and I know what I need to do.
Got it.
And, I go there. Like if I was to go to radio now, if they was to ring me and say, Jay, can you come and cover this show now? I won't stress because I know what I'm doing. Like I'm going there. But every day is different with Threads. Tomorrow, when I get up, I need to create contracts for someone. I need to sit down with a video editor and continue the edits that we've been doing for Cat to make sure that that video looks amazing, but not just amazing from my eye, for the brand's eye. So then it's then understanding their brand to make sure that it looks how they need it to look. I also need to continue to liaise with Andre, who's on a shoot tomorrow as well. And then we've got a new business development manager that's been working with us for the last 3 months. I need to sit with her and make sure that she's doing her job to get a new business and continue to do that, whilst continuing to manage myself and doing the stuff that I spoke about a little bit earlier, like finding a PR.
Yeah.
I need to send the rest of that proposal to that fashion brand to secure that, because I promised them that I'd send it yesterday. There's a whole heap of invoices that are in my inbox that I need to pay for tomorrow. And then when I wake up tomorrow, there will be another 5 things on my phone. That's like, Jay, can you do this
now? Yeah.
It's urgent. Like, it's priority. It needs to be done now. So yeah, there's days that I do nothing, because you know them days where like there's so much and it's like
you bury your head in the sand.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't know, where do I start?
Airplane mode. Sleep.
I can't do it. My list. I live by lists.
Yeah.
So I'm old school with pen and paper. So I write like, I have like a J London to-do list for the week and a Fred's to-do list for the week, and then I've got like a whiteboard in my room where like I've got like 2 weeks, and then I like write what's coming up and stuff. I bought a diary this year as well, which has really helped. I've never had one of those.
Good.
So yeah, so like Monday it's going to be busy, and like that is why there's a completely different head on, because I need different J's for all of those things. But with radio, it's like my happy place, because I'm going to go in, I'm going to put the mic up, and I'm going to be able to talk about who Drake has slept with, because he's probably slept with someone new. I'm going to play the new tunes. I'm going to do like homegrown stuff. I'm going to like play new UK acts, and they're going to send me a video of them announcing it, saying that it's on my show, and I'm going to talk about that socially.
So that's like more fun.
It's fun.
In a way, yeah.
It's fun as well as work, and I knew it would be, and that's why I worked so hard for it.
Definitely.
I never planned to do this business.
Yeah.
But we're too far in now.
That's it. You've got to make it work.
So, but
it's
no,
almost like you're using like your left brain and your right brain.
Possibly.
That you're doing.
I don't want it to come across like I don't love it. Like, I do love Fred's, but like I say, it sounds like I'm less enthusiastic about it, because I'm a lot more serious about it. There's a lot more serious head to it. There's a lot more serious side to
business,
it.
man.
Because it's business now.
Yeah.
It's not a hobby.
Yeah.
Whereas presenting is a work, and it's still fun, and I'm still, I'm having fun with it.
Yeah.
I'm able to joke around and make people laugh and see the interaction and just have a good time. Like this morning, I was just dancing around the studio to Block Boy and Drake Look Alive, like, and it was just amazing. I'm just filming myself just doing nonsense, because it's part of the
I can't hear Kendrick Lamar Humble without seeing you.
That's an old video.
Yeah, but that's like stuck in my mind. Yeah,
jeez. Yeah. Okay, I need to do more of them, man.
Exactly.
But yeah, man, it's fun, and I really love it. I really love the journey, and I love everything that I'm doing. I'm just hard on myself, because I want to do more all the time. And if I'm not doing more, then I'm like, okay, cool. I'm letting myself down, because I should be doing more, or I'm getting lazy, or like I haven't done enough in that day. And now I'm getting tired as well. So like when I'm resting, I'm feeling guilty, or like even if I'm going to the gym, like I feel like I'm in the gym feeling guilty. So I'm like, I should be doing those invoices, or I should be doing those. Like, I've got 50 emails on my phone, and I'm lifting weights. Like, and then I have to remind myself that I'm allowed to go to the gym. Like I'm allowed to be like to have my own time and to do stuff, because once you don't allow that, then that's just a slippery slope. Life.
Your body will tell you what to do.
Of
after
course,
a while.
and then before you know it, you're 50, and it's like, whoa, I've done nothing in my life. Like what? I've just worked my whole life.
Yeah,
like I've not even. So that's why every year we go, like me and my boys, we always make sure that we go on holiday. We make sure that we go abroad, and we just like let our hair down a little bit, and
good.
Yeah. Last year we went away like quite a bit, because we were celebrating some big birthdays. So yeah, man, I've it's taken a while, but I've got it programmed in me now.
Yeah, good. It's self-awareness, man. You'll get better at it as well. I know. It is. But you kind of start to make your own systems that really work for you. Do you know what I mean? Just want to ask a couple more questions. A lot of my rapid fire questions you've answered.
Okay,
so that's why I didn't bring it up. Cool. One that I do want to ask is, if you could go back in time with all the knowledge that you have now to speak to Jay London in the last day of year 11, what would you tell yourself?
That's a good question. Do I need to answer this quickly?
No, it's not rapid like that. It's more of like,
okay. See, I was asked this on Saturday, and I said it was to be thick-skinned. But after having this conversation with you, I think I didn't know that I needed to be thick-skinned, but I was prepared for it anyway because I managed to get through the knockbacks and continue. So I'd probably tell myself, don't be afraid, because I knew I wasn't afraid, but at the same time I was doubting myself a lot and I was afraid. So there were times where I might have missed opportunities because I never thought I was good enough.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think knowing now, like, that there's no, like, practice makes perfect, and that's it, I've got it.
Go on.
Don't be afraid to fail would be what I would tell myself. Don't be afraid to fail.
That's a good one.
Because I was so afraid of failing, and I still am. But that fear of failing stops you from doing certain things. So there was probably opportunities and points that I probably could have got that I haven't got because I was afraid to maybe speak to that person or socialize with that person or put myself in front of that camera. On the flip side, it might have helped because, you know, it could also tarnish your career if you're not ready for it. Mm-mm. But yeah, don't be afraid of failure would be what I would say to young Jay.
Good.
Yeah.
That's a really good one. Are there any like books or videos or like must consume resources that you like have shared to people or that you've given to people that you'd really recommend? As
much as I want to be a book person, I'm not, and I'm trying to read a lot more. I don't know. I think it's that attention span thing again. Mm-hmm. I do find it a lot really calming, but I don't know. It just takes me long. I'm a slow reader, so it takes me long to finish a book. So I think I get like halfway through, and then I intend to finish it, and then like I end up doing all the things that I'm doing, and then I'm just like, where do I have time to now finish this book?
Yeah.
Like, I do want to read it, but it's like, then I forget. Like, I even started it, and then it's just there picking up dust. I'm like, oh yeah, whatever happened in that?
Yeah.
But a good book that I'm reading at the moment is Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Mm-hmm.
That was strongly recommended to me, and it teaches you about making money work for you rather than work for money.
Yeah.
Some of the things and the things that I think I had installed in me, basically to not go into these things trying to expect that you're going to get money. You need to do things and work hard for it and be prepared to do things for free before you can be rich. And at the moment, when I'm feeling maybe low or demotivated, Eric Thomas is my guy.
E.T. Man, like, yeah.
So
do you listen on YouTube or?
So I like his YouTube videos. Yeah, I don't really like his podcast as much because I feel like it's not as hard hitting.
Yeah, I haven't heard the podcast.
So he does a podcast. They're on like 100 episodes or something like that.
Is it?
Yeah,
okay.
like they go in, maybe even more. But it's his YouTube videos, like his Thank God It's Monday videos, and just like his way. Sometimes I listen to that guy and I'm like, whoa, like how do you see things like that? A lot of the stuff I can relate to it. But there's stuff when he's saying, I feel like he's just speaking to me, like it's direct.
Yeah. I'm
like, that is exactly what I'm going through now. Like I'm trying to think of some of the ones that he said, but that, yeah, I think it was him that made me realize that I was being content at radio at that moment.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because he was like, he gave an example and he was like, some of you work so hard to get to a place, and then when you get to a place, you become content. It's like that's when the real work should start. Like you've done all that work, you've got to that place. Now the real work begins.
Don't take your foot off the gas.
Don't become content. Like you get lazy. You're like, oh yeah, no, I've done that now, and then like it's like no. You need to give 100%. And I was listening to it, and I was like, that's exactly what I'm doing now. Like I'm putting everything into this radio show, and I'm forgetting all the things that I should be doing outside as my own brand, and you know the other things that I'm doing. But it's being hard on myself because I'm doing a radio show and I'm running a business, so it's doing both of those things in the same day, which doesn't give me much time to do other things. But it's an excuse. Like, you make time for the things you want to do.
What you did before.
Exactly. So
yeah,
I did it before when I was producing the show and then working Virgin Media. I was still running a business. Obviously, it was a lot easier back then because we weren't doing as much as we're doing now.
Yeah.
But there's no excuse. So Eric Thomas is someone that I listen to now. I got him on in the car. Haven't listened to him for a little while, so hopefully that means I'm motivated at the moment.
yeah.
I am actually reading Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Mm-hmm.
I've read it a couple of times in the last week before bed. And I think I realised the other day that Nas played a very important part in my growing up, because I listened to hip hop from a very young age, and Nas was someone that I always listened to. And it was only the other day that I downloaded his discography, and I was listening back to all of his albums right from the beginning to like Illmatic. It was written right up to the current day.
Yeah.
That I realised a lot of the things that he says in his lyrics are kind of what moulded me to continue. Like, Nothing Lasts Forever.
Okay.
It's a Small World. All of his all of the things that he kind of preaches about in a lot of his content was kind of what was installed in me. And I think it was a subconscious thing, because
maybe you've answered your question.
maybe I have. Maybe it was Nas.
Maybe it was Nas.
Maybe it was Nas, because there's so many quotes like Nothing Lasts Forever, What Goes Around Comes Around. Just things like that. Just things that are just like so small that you know now. But like when you do a song about what goes around comes around, it's a small world. Practice what you preach. What goes around comes around. Like, it's just like repetition. You know what I mean? Like or like Live Now, or not even I Can. Like, I just felt like that was trying too hard. Like, I know I can be.
Yeah.
That was like, for me, I was listening to that and I was like, okay, cool. Like, it's okay, cool. But for me, it was the things like, you know, Nothing Lasts Forever, It's a Small World, and just things like that. It was just installing, I think, just going into my head, and maybe that was what it was. But I don't know if it was because I listened to a lot of hip hop, and he wasn't the only person. I was listening to Eminem, so if that was going in my head, then I could be some crazy guy right now. Mystical's album, I was listening to any album, because back then, obviously, hip hop music in the UK now is like a lot bigger. So back then we had American music.
That's right. Yeah.
So it was like, oh, what artists can I listen to? So once I went through the common ones, like the Nas's, like the Jay-Z's, then I was like, who else is there? Okay, cool, there's this Mystical guy, I'm going to listen to his album. There's Nelly, I'm going to listen. And then it was just like, I'm going to listen to anything. So I used to go to like Hackney Market with like one of my boys, and we used to just go there like every Sunday and just buy like all of these bootleg albums, like 5-6 albums, for like £10. Copy CDs, you get like 5 or 6 albums for £10, and then you just come home and then you just like listen to it. It's like some of them were shit, but it's like cool, just throw them away. It was like cool, or they're just there. So I just had this massive, I think I threw them away like a few years ago, but I had like a massive collection of copied albums.
Or in those big like CD sleeves.
Yeah, the albums. CD sleeves.
Yeah.
And I used to copy them as well. So we used to like, that was back in the days when we had our torrents, and we used to have like kick-ass torrents, and we used to just download music, and it was like, put them on CD. I used to make J-Tunes CDs for like me and my friends, and it was like, that's where the kind of DJing side comes into it now, because I'd know what people wanted to hear. So like, I wouldn't pick the tunes that are like everyone's listening to. I'd pick the ones that are the bangers, and then I'd put them on one CD. Like, I remember I made like a Nas Greatest Hits, and to this day, I guarantee you that Nas Greatest Hits is better than the Nas Greatest Hits.
You should do it as a Spotify playlist.
I probably will.
Yeah, do that.
I probably will, because that's his greatest hits. Because a lot of the time when people pick the greatest hits, they pick the tunes that are the most historic, the most legendary, which I understand. But if we're talking about the bangers, they're like, oh my God, this is a tune.
If you're a Nas fan.
There you go. This is a tune. Yeah. Not like it was written, or, you know, like things like Illmatic and or like just debate tunes. It's the tunes that are like that you have to listen to the album to remember that was on there.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, I remember that tune. Try it, man. Download or like buy or Spotify or Apple Music. Spotify's probably the best one, or Apple Music, whichever one you're on. Stream Nas's discography.
Yeah.
Next week. I'm challenging you to do that.
All
next week.
The whole discography, yeah?
Discography, yeah.
All
the
right.
whole thing. When if you listen to, you can listen to an album like
Yeah, you could listen to an album a day.
An album a day, but I think he's got more than 7 albums, hasn't he? An album and a bit a day.
Yeah. Stillmatic, because the first album that I bought with my own money.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's got a special place
Sick.
in my heart.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So yeah, go through all of them. Listen to them. Almost some of them are double CDs as well. So it might be more than a week.
Get my earpods in, boy.
Yeah, man. And just listen to it, and then you'll realize, like, oh my gosh, like you know this anyway. Like music, what it was then, it's not the same quality as what it is now. And it's listening back to that and being like, oh my God, I forgot about this tune. And
and still having that same level of like, wow.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's crazy. So Nas was someone that I like, even to this day, is my favorite rapper of all time. I do love Biggie and Tupac, but Nas for me, as I say, if I can sit here and say that, I think he actually helped me get to where I am today. Then how can he not?
Wow.
Never met him. I missed an opportunity to meet him.
It will happen.
I was pissed. But they say you shouldn't meet your idols.
Not always.
They say that's what they say. They say you shouldn't meet him because if they're an arsehole, then it kind of.
I know, but then everyone's human, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He might have had a bad day or something, you know what I mean? And
Exactly.
Then it's like, oh,
Exactly.
I don't like Nas. I don't think that will happen. I think even if he was a dickhead, I'd be like, oh no, he must have just had a bad day. Nas ain't like that.
Exactly.
Nas ain't like that, man.
No,
That's
exactly.
Like, something happened.
He had a bad day, man. It ain't me.
Like, he must have not ate because I get like that when I don't eat. Like, that's not
Exactly.
Nas. It's a fake Nas.
Fake Nas. Oh man. Well, we've definitely gone way over the time that we said. But
let's go home and get some sleep.
Yeah,
man.
yeah, definitely.
Long day tomorrow.
Definitely. Very last question. It's not a hard one.
Yeah, no, cool, man.
Now you've gone through the For the Creators questions and the whole process. Who would you be interested in hearing answer these same questions?
If I say Freds, if I say Andre and Freds, is that cheating?
Well, that's happening soon, so yeah, you're gonna get your wish.
Aside from that,
Yeah.
Does it need to be realistic? Because if I say someone like,
anyone.
okay.
It's just someone who you'd be interested to hear the answers to.
I'm tempted to say someone like Jay-Z at the moment because I'm although he's this big machine and we all know like Jay-Z is like this machine who came from the Bronx from a probably worse situation than we did. Brooklyn. Yeah. People getting shot. Like we're not from that. Like drugs. Like there's crime, but there's not like come out your house, bang. Like, okay, cool. Let's not pretend. To be worth 900 million now and overtake Diddy. I've never really been like, I've always been interested, but I've never gone out my way to be like, how did this human being do this? Like come from there and do that. But now I actually am interested. So I'm tempted to say him, but I can probably find out a lot of that information anyway by watching his interviews. I'm considering buying his book. There's a book that I found on Amazon called Three Kings, which is about him.
Yeah,
Diddy,
that's and Dre.
And Dre, yeah. It only came out a couple of months ago.
Yeah, it's by Zach Goldenberg. He writes for Forbes, I think.
Right, so I'm getting that then. If you're co-signing that, cool. So I'm tempted to say Jay-Z, but I feel like that's an easy option.
Maybe. Well, it's an easy answer, but it's definitely not an easy option.
An easy answer, sorry, not easy option. Yeah, just call Jay-Z.
Yeah.
I'll go with Alan Sugar.
Okay. Interesting.
The thing I like about Alan Sugar is the whole business side of it, and I think, as I say, it's what he's done. I'm interested in because I don't know enough about it. I think I know a lot about Jay-Z's journey. So if I was to listen to a podcast about Alan Sugar, I'll learn a lot more about stuff that I didn't know.
Yeah.
There's stuff that Jay-Z, obviously he's going to spray some knowledge that I never had a clue about, but there's stuff in there that I will have a clue about. I'll know that he used to sell drugs and how he used to blah, 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 blah. But Alan Sugar, I've got no idea, apart from just doing the whole paper round thing, how he's now like...
Yeah. And like you said in the beginning, being a businessman or business person is being a creator.
Yeah.
There's no real distinction.
Yeah, and he's from like where we're from. So
Yeah, is he from Popular?
I think
Or he's from East London anyway.
He's from East London. So I can connect with that a lot closer than I can with someone who grew up in Brooklyn.
Exactly.
Because that sounds more like a fairy tale.
And it always will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds more like a fairy tale because I can't identify with it. I've not grown up in Brooklyn. I can understand and listen and take a lot of compassion and feel like, yeah, you smashed it and that must have been so hard. But if Alan's talking about some places in East London, I can picture myself there.
Exactly.
So yeah, if you gave me more time to think about it, which you actually did because you sent over the question, I probably would say someone else, but for now I'm going to say Alan.
That's a good answer, man.
Yeah, we'll go for Alan Sugar. So if you get him, I'll come in and sit down.
Yeah, definitely.
Have a listen.
Have a little Q&A.
Yeah, man.
Cool. Well, Jay, appreciate the time, man. Appreciate
worries,
the stories.
man.
I've
It's been
learned a lot, man. Wow.
You learned a lot about my journey, yeah, man.
Yeah.
We need to reverse this.
Yeah,
next
we
time.
should. Yeah.
We'll do a reverse one.
Yes,
And
we
then
shall.
That would be a one-off.
Yeah. One-off special for the creators.
Wicked.
Cool.
All right,
Nice
no,
one,
safe, man. Thanks for having me, bro.
Thank you, man.
It's been good.
Appreciate it.
Long time coming.
Not very long time. Remember, guys, we're just starting out and we really want this show to reach as many creators as possible. So please remember to review us on Apple Podcasts. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and everywhere @for_the creators.